Oil, we're back above $100, but even yesterday we were ticking below that $100 level. So there's a little bit of hope here. Still, though, we are heading for a weekly loss as recession fears outweigh the tight supply that we're seeing in the market. I want to bring in United Refining Company Chairman and CEO Catsimatidis and D'Agostino's Foods President John Catsimatidis. It's great to see you, John.
Always good to see you.
So we're talking about inflation, food and energy. That is your wheelhouse. That is what you witness on a day-to-day basis in your business. Where are we at right now in this?
Well, I was on Fox about 10 days ago, and I announced that we have reached peak oil prices. And I think the market's...
Might be right.
I've been pretty right for about a year now. And, you know, we're in the real estate business, we're in the oil business, we're in the food business. So even though I'm a college dropout, I have the pulse on what's going on. And I believed that the recession doesn't have to happen. I believe unless there's another war or another incident, that oil prices will start to tweak down a little bit. And the fact is that inflation will going to start tweeting down the other way. Because with oil prices going down, food prices will continue to go up for the next 30, 60, 90 days, because they always have a 30, 60, 90-day layover period in between. But if oil prices go down and if food prices stabilize, inflation goes away. So what I said to Jay Powell on my last Fox interview, I said to Jay Powell, don't raise interest rates to a degree where it's going to destroy the rest of the country. So I said, Jay Powell, be careful, because we'll destroy the real estate industry. We'll destroy. It's easy to say raise rates and solve problems. Well, the way to solve the problem is reduce the oil prices. And if North America has 100 years worth of oil, if we reduce the oil prices and the oil prices come down, the food prices come down, inflation goes away. If we just raise interest rates, and guess what? We'll destroy the rest of the economy that's still healthy. America does not want to go into a recession, but Washington could force it into recession if they do the wrong things.
And you're talking about demand destruction, which has been one of the biggest fears that we've had going into this summer, in particular with the high energy prices that we're seeing and inflation. Let's talk about CPI next week with you. Obviously, at the grocery level, that is where Americans are feeling it the worst. Eggs. 13% jump in eggs last month. I mean, these are really large numbers, double-digit increases for the American family. You know, Carol and Michelle both are predicting we're going to stay at this high inflation level for at least the short term. Do you agree with that? Not
necessarily. I think over the next 90 days, for sure, our levels of inflation is still going to, they're going to come down a little bit. They're not going to be at the 8.6 level. I believe they're going to come down a little bit. And inflation will, as oil prices subside, food prices in the next 60, 90 days will ease off a little bit. And the sun is going to shine for the rest of the century if we don't screw it up ourselves.
Well, you know, if inflation has indeed peaked, that would be certainly good news. We'll get that report. Consumer, inflation numbers come out Wednesday. Then we've got the producer prices Thursday, which is the wholesale level, which is you.
Kaylee, those are the numbers that you're seeing from the past. I am the one telling you about what the future is going to be.
But here's the gal that looks forward to that report every month, most of the time. Let's move on to something else, and that's kind of what's happening here in New York City. You and I were talking before the show began about the state of our city. There is this been heartbreaking story we've been following here on Fox about this bodega worker. This elderly gentleman goes to work in his bodega. Not his bodega, he just works there. He gets attacked. He stabs this guy. This guy dies. The suspect dies. They throw him in jail. They throw him in jail
the girlfriend,
for defending himself.
The girlfriend stabbed the grocery worker. And she went home for dinner. He went to Rikers Island. You can't make that up.
Unbelievable.
And bottom line is, when the guy jumps on the other side of the counter, it's like a person coming into your home. A customer is...
It's self-defense.
It's self-defense.
Anywhere else in this country, that would have been self-defense.
It's self-defense, and I got to commend Mayor Adams. He stood up. Very few politicians have the courage to stand up. He stood up and said it's wrong. It was self-defense, and they released him on $5,000 bail.
What's happening here, and I'm glad to see that he got out of jail. We saw that news break. But what is happening here in New York City is a bigger story. It's not just New York. It's Los Angeles. It is San Francisco. It is Chicago. Criminals are ruling the roost.
Yes.
And law-abiding citizens are suffering. And I was at Duane Reade a couple weeks ago, and a guy walked in, picked up a case of beer, walked out. It's heartbreaking to me, but it is the policies in these cities that is causing this.
It's certain individuals.
Do you have hope that Adams can fix the issues? Because if we don't have a safe city, we don't have an economy. We don't have office buildings filled with workers anymore. We have an empty island. You
won't have 66 million tourists. What I was talking to Mayor Adams about on the show this morning is that there's and this police commissioner agrees, 3,000 violent criminals in the city of New York, repeat criminals. And so I said, for whom do the bells toll for? 8.5 million New Yorkers that want to live well, or the 3,000 criminals? If the politicians in Albany want to support the 3,000 criminals instead of the 8.5 million New Yorkers, well, the heck with them. And we have to make changes this November. People say to me, oh, who are you going to support in 2024 for president? I said, forget about it. We're fighting the war of 2022, and we have to make changes in 2022 for our city, our state, and our country to survive going forwards, because it's not for me or you, it's for our kids and grandkids.
For the next generation. I know we have to run, but I have to tell you, I'm hearing more and more talk about Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin may have a shot at winning the governor's office in the state. He's a Republican in a blue state. That would be, I think, a huge national about face.
He has a good shot. It comes down to for whom do the bells toll and keeping our city and state safe. And New Yorkers are going to make a decision. Who do you trust to keep your city and your state safe? And that's what it's going to come down to. It happened in Nassau County just a few months ago during the last election. The guy in the Nassau County was up 20 points. He lost by 20 points because the people of Nassau County said, enough is enough.
John Catsimatidis, it's always great to see you, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right. Keep fighting the good fight in this city, that's for sure.